Everyone, welcome back to the Unleashing Potentials podcast. So joining me today is LaTisha, all the way from Texas. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on and to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So we were talking earlier about the weather in Texas, how hot it is. How are you guys surviving there?
Out here, like I said before, it is. I really feel like God said, all right, we're going to put the temperature on hell today. So it's hot. It is hot. And actually today it's really muggy. So it's like steaming hot. You're baking in the oven with it. Yeah.
Oh.
This summer I've definitely got a couple shades darker. So
you're not.
I can appreciate I know. Look, I'm always excited about the times when the summer comes because I can get my little glow on and I get a couple shades browner. And then in the wintertime, I'm all yellow. So I'm excited about my little tan that I got from the summer. I don't want to have to deal with the heat that comes with it, but can't be too picky.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. I'm excited to hear more about you. We're gonna start by me letting you tell us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so as you already said, my name is LaTisha Ware. I am the president of Minds Under Construction LLC. I'm an educational consultant. I am a certified professional coach. I am a certified school counselor. I am a certified trauma and crisis specialist. I am a certified mental health first aid responder. And I am a certified, I done been there, done that. Come on now. And so I always say, like, especially when dealing with a lot of things that come with, depression, anxiety, trauma, and everything in between transitioning, I have deemed myself the guru of it. And I will say I have a t-shirt to prove that I done been through it, so I am at this point now where I am at the place where I want to help people come through the things that I've already been through, giving them some of those tools and resources that I use that were very beneficial and helpful for me in my journey in finding peace and finding myself and really centering myself into life and grounding myself so that, my focus can be there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we have a lot to unpack, that I can say.
Yes, okay.
Yes. Tell me more of the name Minds Under Constructions. I love it, by the way.
Thank you. So we oftentimes will go into life, of course, and we don't really think about our mental health. We do not, especially us. There's a stigma behind it, and we just do not focus on it. We will go to the doctor every now and again when we have an ache in our knee, our back is hurting, or, we got a little cold we can't get rid of. We will go into the doctor for that, but we will not take care of our minds. And so as I was going through my own journey and my processing of, really finding and rediscovering myself, my mind was under construction. I was getting ready to build a new me. I was getting ready to build a new focus. I was getting ready to build something that was going to last and that was going to be amazing. And so Minds Under Construction, it was my theme. It was my theme for my journey.
Yeah, I love that. I love the way you describe it and the work that you're doing with it, because it's true. I never really thought of it that way, that the mind can be under constructions.
Yeah.
I think it's a lifelong journey of our minds being under construction.
Yeah, it is. And it's a continuous thing. Like you said, it's a lifelong journey. You are always, going into something else. Something's always going to come in and happen. But I think what the key is to life that I've discovered is when I can firmly place myself on a solid foundation, I can stay centered and I can stay in where I am. I don't have to worry about those things coming and knocking me over because I've grounded myself and I've learned how to center myself. I've gotten the tools and the resources to make sure that when those storms come or when those events come, when those issues come, I know what I can rely on. I know where I can go to and how I can get myself out of those situations.
Yeah, I love that. So who would you say is one of your biggest inspiration?
You know, I would say my mom. I lost my mom in 2009. She is, that woman was everything to everybody and nobody even knew it. You know, after she had passed, I had several people who would come up to me and they're like, "You're Catherine's daughter, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, who are you? I went to school with your mom," or "I knew your mom at work," or, you know, "I met your mom in the grocery store one day." She had such an impact on so many people's lives. So one of the things that she taught me was, no matter what is going on, make sure that you approach everything with kindness. Because you don't know the magnitude or the effect that you will have on others. And you don't know if your word of encouragement can be the thing that brings someone from the brinks. You don't know what day that someone that your encounter has had. And if you can be that joy, if you can be that sunshine, if you can be that kindness that meets them where they are, you could change the trajectory of their lives. And so I truly, truly try to live by that, you know, taking everything with a kindness approach to life, because I want to make an impact. I want the people who encounter me on a daily basis or who encounter me for one time to see a light. And so that has always been an impactful thing that she has left me with. And she was someone who I was like, okay, how do I go in and like these shoes? What am I supposed to do now? You know? But I think she gave me and instilled in me and trained me and taught me and poured into me everything that I needed to be successful today.
Yeah, I love that. I wish everyone have someone like that to look up to in their lifetime.
Yeah,
I really
it's an amazing thing. I have this thing that says a shirt that says I am my mother's daughter, and I will learn from my mom, and I will do better than my mom. You know, and that's what she wanted. That's what every mom wants. You know, they want for you to do better, be better. And as great of a woman that she was, I want to always strive to make sure that I make her proud. And, you know, if she were here, she'd give me that pat on the back, or that, "Oh, okay, Tish, you did that." You know, I was only LaTisha whenever I got in trouble. So, so yeah, she was an amazing woman, and to be a seed of her, to have her inside of me, and knowing that I embody her strength, allows for me to do what I do today. And it allows for me to have the impact that I have on people today. I think it first started at home with my mom.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, I think she's very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
The woman that you've become and the work that you're doing. You're carrying on her legacy, and that's huge.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
You're welcome. So what does personal growth means to you?
You know what, for me personally, I'm really big on the self-care. I'm really big on it. I think that oftentimes we get confused with self-care and self-maintenance. Self-maintenance is when we go and get a massage. Self-maintenance is when we go and sit in the salon and get our hair done and our nails and our feet done. That's our self-maintenance. We are maintaining ourselves. But our self-care is when we are caring for ourselves to develop us into better people. And we're able to reflect on things. So I'm very intentional about my day, about my time, about my interactions, and about the way I orbit through Earth. So that means in the morning when I wake up, I set my intention for the day. I am going to have an amazing day, and I'm going to ensure this by doing these things. And if something arises that tries to deter me from having an amazing day or that affects my steps, then I have to create a plan for that. And I think, when we get into the development of ourselves, we can sometimes not have plans and not have actions. And so when something arises, we're shook. We don't know what to do. And when you are intentional about who you are and your day and your makings, you create plans. You create a plan for it. And so that's what I do in the morning. And I will sit and I meditate and I will do my affirmations, whatever I need to do to get me focused for today. Through my journey, I've learned that there is nothing more important than my peace. And I'm the person, for my personal growth, for my personal development, if I find that there is something orbiting around me that is interrupting the peace that I've developed, the peace that he's given me, I will remove myself from the situation. I do not allow for things to come into my space that disrupt me, that take me off kilter. Because there are going to be people, there are going to be things, there are going to be situations that will come and try to, get you moving. But remember, I said my intention for the day. I know my plan for the day. And so I can get grounded and get centered because I know where I'm going for the day. And so when you think about self-development and self-improvement, I think it first starts with learning your routines of being intentional about your day and being intentional about who you are and where you're going.
Yeah, I love that because so many of us don't have peace. We may live in a quiet neighborhood or have a quiet family, or we may be even quiet, but there are raging storms inside us. The news is enough to create any chaos in anybody, right?
Yeah, you were right.
Watch the news for that reason. I mean, my heart goes out to victims and people who are going through stuff, but I don't want it. It's not mine to carry. So I love that you have the ability to articulate the type of peace that you want and to remove what's taking your peace away.
Yeah, most definitely. And trust me, it took time. After my mom passed, I went through a Great Depression and I didn't even know that I was depressed. I had no idea that depression was happening. I knew that I was changing. I knew that I had gained almost 100 pounds. I knew that I wasn't going to get my hair done as often. I knew that I had stopped wearing heels. I knew that, my outer appearance had started to change because of what was happening in the inside. But I didn't know. I didn't have the language. I didn't have the help. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the resources to think it's something mental that's going on. You're setting yourself up because you're not reaching out. I had at that point, I'd never heard about, you're going to go to therapy or you go see a counselor because you're dealing with emotional issues. I never heard about that type of stuff, So it was something I didn't know. And then on top of that, as a Black woman, we are always taught, put that cape on. Don't show them your weakness. Don't show them that you're sweating. You can be emotional. Don't be too emotional, or, don't let people know how you feel. Like I know my mom was very, very strong willed. That woman got up and put siding on the house.
Yeah.
Like that was what she wasn't waiting on nobody to do anything for her. And so that's what I saw, and that's who I was. And then when I went to counseling, my counselor said, okay, well, how's that working for you? Oh, okay. And through my journey, I learned, it takes strength to be vulnerable. Yes. It takes strength for me to tell you that when you did this thing, I felt this way. And it takes strength for me to then tell you, here's how I need for you to love me. This is how I need for you to treat me. And for me, at first, I would just, you did something I didn't like. Okay. I'll be gone. I don't deal with it. I won't deal with it. But how is that helping me? How am I growing? What am I seeing happening? I wasn't. And my therapist called me out on it. She was like, girl, you're dealing with a lot of trauma that you haven't even dealt with. And I was telling her, that's not trauma. That's just what we do in our community. That's just who we are as Black people. And she was like, oh, that was very traumatic. I was like, no, it's not a traumatic thing. You don't understand. And she's like, no, it's traumatic. You don't understand. What you've done is normalize it. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I'm that person, and it was very eye-opening for me. It was then that I was able to say, okay, I am not going to sit in this depression. I am going to learn the tools that I need to get out of it. And then I need to learn, how do I never go back to it? Because doing that was something I don't want to do. I had heard or seen those commercials on TV that would say depression hurts. And I would say, how in the world does something you feel emotional hurt? It's a physical pain.
Yeah.
It is physical, where there would be times where I would just like get the tightness in my chest, but then it would go down to my leg and my leg would start throbbing and the pain would be so unbearable that I would just fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It truly physically hurt to be in a depressive state. And I would just sit there. Whenever I would go out, no one knew that I was depressed. No one knew, because I had learned how to put a mask on.
Yeah.
And when I came home, I took my mask off.
Wow.
And so the people at my house got the raging me. They got the one who didn't really, I wasn't trying to hear anything. It was, or the one who stayed in the bed. I don't feel like talking right now. I don't feel like playing. I don't want to do it. But when I went out into the world and I put my mask on, I was, hey, yes, let's I am amazing. I was bubbly. I was the person that everybody wanted me to be.
Wow.
Which then pushed me more into depression, because no one noticed that I was depressed. No one noticed that I was hurting. No one noticed all the changes that were happening to say, hey, girl, what's going on? People would make comments and say, oh, you ain't gonna get your hair done this week? Oh, you're not gonna get your nails done? You just gonna be sitting there? I even had a friend of mine say, I know, and it was someone I worked with. And there are people who will pray for you, and then there are people who will pray on you.
Yeah.
So the P-R-A-Y and then the P-R-E-Y, he was truly a person who P-R-A-Y on me. He would pray for me constantly. But he told me, he said, I'm noticing that your nails are not done, and they haven't been done in a couple of weeks. So I'm trying to figure out why and what I need to do to help you. I was like, what do you mean? I just don't have time. And he said, well, I want to create time for you. What do I need to do? How can I help you get back to who you were? And now I sit and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, he was at that point, but I wasn't ready to accept it. But he knew something was going on. He knew that, my mental had changed because of the way I stopped caring for myself physically. And so with that, it was something else. Like I said, it made me go further into a depressive state because no one noticed, no one recognized it. But as I walked through my journey, as I went through counseling, as I went through my therapy with this woman who completely could not identify with me. She was younger than me. She was white. And she asked me a question. She said, so tell me about your life. Tell me about your family, how you grew up, and I'm giving her the answers, and I'm seeing her write notes down. I'm like, what's she writing? I had a great life. My life was wonderful. I never wanted for anything. My mom provided for me. My mom made sure this, she showed me strength. She did this, she did that. And she said, did your mom teach you how to be vulnerable? What you mean?
Oh, wow.
I'm not Yeah. And she said, oh, well, how's that working for you? every time some trauma that she would see that was happening, she would always ask, well, how's that working for you? Because she knew I was going to fight back. I was going to say, oh no, that's just what we do. That's just how we act. That's just the things that happen in our community. But she recognized that it was a trauma.
Yeah. Wow.
And so because of that, it took me to say, oh, wait, some stuff. And I didn't know. I didn't know it wasn't normal, you know? And so it helped me to really stop normalizing the things that we do in our culture and the things that we do with our families. Just because my mama did it and her mama did it and her mama did it does not mean that I have to do it. So I do things really different. And sometimes my family members or my aunties there, and they'll say, your mama doesn't do stuff like that. I know, but I am.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just now that I've gone through this journey and I know where I'm at here, there, like the focus is so unreal. There is nothing that's going to deter me from this. Yes, 2 weeks ago, I lost my stepmom, and that was traumatic in itself because it was so unexpected.
Yeah.
I gotta be here, I'm here. Yes, it hurt. Yes, I am grieving. And yes, it is painful.
Yeah.
Very much so. But I have the tools and the resources now to where it's not going to make me fall over. I can stay here.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry for your loss. I know that's hard. It's hard to lose loved ones, but I love everything you just said. You just described my life. Because you're right, as Black women, we're expected to be strong, but at times I don't have any fiber of hope to remain strong. And you're right, we do wear that mask. All of us do. And I am so proud of you for acknowledging that how you wear it and where you wear it. Because some of us, we don't want to talk about it, either because of guilt or shame, or it makes us feel less than. When really, I think vulnerability is power. It's not necessarily weakness. It's how we look at it.
Right. It most definitely is. And I'll go one even further. Some of us don't even know we're wearing masks.
Oh, yes.
We're so far into our stuff that we don't even recognize that a mask is on.
Yes, you're right. How do you help people recognize that they're wearing that?
Yeah. And so that's really bringing you to the floor. Let's bring it to the floor. One thing I always want to do is to let people know we all go through stuff. We all need each other. And what we will do as women, we will keep our stuff to ourselves because, no one has ever gone through this. I'm the only one who has experienced this. This is going to be my burden to bear, and as soon as we tell one person that this is what we're going through, and they can say, oh, I went through that a couple of years ago. Here's what helped me.
Yeah.
But we got to first get to that point of realizing we are not alone. You are not the only one who has gone through this. Every situation is not new. Now, it may be different, but as women, we have to learn to rely on our people, our core people. Now, I'm not saying to go and tell your business to everybody, because that those people are not worthy. Everybody's not worthy of what your struggle, and they're not going to be worthy of the process that you take to get through your journey to become who you need to be. But at the same time, those people who genuinely care for you, who are invested in you, who genuinely want to see you happy and succeed, you know who they are. Go to them. Have that conversation and help get out of it. Because the unmasking process, it's scary. It's hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say that it was easy, but it was a 3-year process. I spent 10 years in depression. It was a process to try to go and undo all the damage that I had done to myself.
Wow.
And I'm not going to say anybody did it to me. It was me. It was me. It was completely me. I had threw up walls everywhere. No one was getting in. I was going to give you what I wanted you to have. And that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now, like I said, that hard journey you take to unmasking, it is so well worth it. The moment that you recognize the inside is not matching what's on the outside. I'm smiling on the outside. You know how you see that commercial where they have the fan and it's a smile that goes up and then they're sad underneath? When you permanently take your mask off and you recognize that I'm not okay and understand that it's okay that you're not okay, then you can start your healing process.
Yeah.
And you can start it. You can start to better yourself. You can start to heal yourself. You can start to move forward. And that's one of the things that I coach people through is, one, the transitioning process. If you've gone through grief, depression, anxiety, if you've gone through trauma, what I want to do is to teach you tools and give you resources to help you to, if those things happen again, this is how we move forward.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm not going to say if you've gone through a trauma that it is going to be 100% okay, because yes, my mother died in 2009. Today, I still feel sad about it. I still have moments where I just burst out in tears, because, and especially when things happen really good to me, it's hard for me to be happy for myself because I'm like, I can't even share this with my mama. Or on my kids' birthdays, I know that my mom would be super excited and would be planning this crazy big party. I'm just like, but at the same time, I know that I'm here. So I have those resources. So when I have those days, I know how I can move forward. I know how I can make sure that I'm centered here and I stay here. And like I said, it's not that, it won't happen. It's not that when you unmask and you go through your journey and you have become the person who you want to be, it does not mean that things are not going to continue to happen. Yeah. What it does mean is that now you have the tools to deal with them. Now you're not going to sit and rot in your own stuff. Now you're going to have the tools and the resources and the community to deal with what's going on.
Yeah, you're right. And I have mental health issues. Most people can't tell. That's how invisible it can be and how powerful it can be. It hasn't always been rosy, right? My logo on the podcast is Healing Together, because I've tried to do it by myself on my own. It wasn't working. And then I started connecting with people and hearing their stories. Through their stories, they blessed me and helped me heal. That's why it's important, I believe, for us to continue leaning on each other and to stop all the judgments and guilt, because all of us hurt.
Yes.
We may hurt different, but we hurt. All of us are traumatized. And most of us have mental health issues that are diagnosed or not diagnosed. Regardless, we hurt. And when we help hurting people, we're helping ourselves as well.
Oh, yeah. I truly believe that. I mentioned to you before, we go to the doctor for our physicals. We go to the doctor when our knee hurts, but we don't treat our mental health as though it is as important. And it is just as important. And we've got to normalize taking our mental health serious. And we've got to normalize dealing with our mental health. Everybody has something. My 7-year-old has allergies and has allergy medications since he was 6 months old every single day. I had epilepsy and I had to take medication every single day. My sister had high blood pressure. She had to take medication every single day. Someone has a mental health issue. I may have to take medication every single day. That's my illness, just like everybody else has one. And it's no different. It is no different. And as soon as we realize it and we stop putting the stigma on it to think, oh no, something is wrong. The demon must be in you because you got a mental health issue. No, I'm just hurting. I'm really going through some stuff. I'm really dealing with a lot of stuff and I don't know how to cope with it. And now I've gone into depression. So no, I don't have a demon riding my back. There's not a monkey on my back. I'm not possessed with anything. I am human. In the same way you took that pill when you got a cold is the same way I need to get help when my brain is not working and functioning right.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you for sharing that because I take medications every day. And when we started the call, I said, I'm tired. I just didn't take it early enough. And it's not even 12. So I need it to function. If I don't take them, I just feel like this, very sleepy and tired. And there's so much stigma around this issue and topic. That's why it's my mission to break it down, at least before I leave this earth, to help people, because I've felt the pain of people's words and how damaging it was and still is. It's not something that people forget over years, over months. Some emotional pain, they remain. The person who may have inflicted or caused it may be living their life to the best of their abilities and enjoying life. And they sometimes don't realize the impact and the effect of their actions and words.
Yeah. And here's what I tell people. Forgiveness, it's required. I mean, you forgive not for them, but for you so that you can move on and that you can go on about your life. Because like you said, sometimes people don't even recognize what they've done. What's not required is for me to allow for you to come back into my life to hurt me again. What's not required is for me to mend the relationships. That's what's not required. I don't have to put myself through the mess that you have sent me through. Now I'm going to forgive you because I need to move on and I need to start my healing process. But I'm not going to allow you to come back and do it again. And a lot of the times, what we will do is we will sit there and give people positions and powers in our life that they have no right to have. They have no right to have. I did this series on boundaries a couple of months ago through Facebook. And one of the things that I told them when we talk about having healthy boundaries is accepting people for who they are. We have got to accept people for who they are. And what we will do is we will set ourselves up for failure because we are trying to make someone into something that they are not. If that person has never supported you, why do you think that just because something great happened to you today that they're going to support you? That's not their role. Their role may just be when it's time to get crunk, when it's time to go out, when it's time to be lit, then that's when they come in. They're the party. Accept people for who they are. That's your party friend. That's not your support friend. Your party friend is your party friend. Accept that. Don't try to give another role to someone who never played that role. So once we learn that, we can start to set real good boundaries. We can start to move into the space of how do I make sure that my peace is protected? And one of those ways is accepting people for who they are. And creating those boundaries and leaving them there. Now, that does not necessarily mean that your keep it crunk friend is not going to move into a place of support, but don't expect them to because it's not what they're giving you. If they do support you one day, just, oh, I sure appreciate that. You were so wonderful. Bro, I appreciate your support. That is amazing. Thank you so much. That means the world to me that you are here supporting me through whatever it is that's going on. So once we learn that, we will, because we cause ourselves a lot of heartache. and a lot of pain because of the expectations we put on people. We in our minds will have we put a lot of expectations on people that shouldn't be there. And then we start to think of the potential that that person has.
Yeah.
If you can't accept that person for where they are right now today, do not get upset because they didn't reach what you thought the potential that they had. You can't be upset with that. Because that's not your life.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That should be a quote.
Yeah. It's not. It is definitely not. If you cannot accept someone for who they are right now today.
Yeah.
Then don't be around them. Don't put yourself in that position.
Yeah. And so many of us try to please people. That's what I used to do. And it got me on psychotic meds and depressed and anxiety. And I'm so happy I've reached the point of not giving them my
and trust me, I understand.
Yeah, doesn't it feel good and freeing to not have to please people, to do what feels right?
It is amazing. A friend of mine a couple birthdays ago got me a jar, because I used to tell they would come and say to me about something that was going on. I'm like, yeah. What? Why do you think I care about that? That's not my lane.
Yeah.
You want me to be concerned about something that has nothing to do. I don't have it. And so she got me a jar, and the jar on the outside says, "These are all the F's I have to give." And when I'm out, I'm done,
Yeah, I lost all my F's. I got no more.
So, and I started handing them out to people, okay, I care about this here. I care about this. And once my jar started getting low on them. So much you're going to be able to bring to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we just, we cannot, and like you said, the people pleasing, those are things that lead to depression and anxiety because we don't know how to set healthy boundaries. When you learn how to set healthy boundaries, you will start to see the shift in your being change. You will completely start to see. I was talking to a friend of mine, my cousin, and she told me, she said, no is a complete sentence. You sure right. I love it. So when someone calls me and they say, "Hey, can I ride with you to such and such place?" No.
Yeah.
Well, why? Why can't you come pick me up? No. I don't have to tell you I like to be in the car by myself so that I can listen to my podcast, so that I can listen to my books, so that I can listen to my music, so that I can reflect on my day. I don't have to go into all that with you. No. That's it. That's all. Complete sentence. Period.
Yeah.
Period. And people, that doesn't even make sense. Why can't you just tell me why? I don't have to. I don't owe that to you. No. That's it.
Yeah.
And people will get upset about it. People will get upset that you are setting boundaries for yourself. And that's okay. Because the more that you start to set them, the more easier they'll start to accept it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I wish everyone could find this freedom that we're feeling and talking about. Because it will heal them so much.
Yes.
Mentally, physically. It's just we lift the burdens that they're feeling. The expectation of pleasing parents and families and society. It truly will be a blessing for them. And I hope that everyone can be in a place where they can experience that one day.
Yes. One of my girlfriends said to me the other day, she said, "You are glowing, girl." I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I'm good mentally. I'm good physically. I am achieving goals. I am doing what I said that I would do. I am on the right path. I know that God has a place that I am destined to be at. I know that he is opening up doors and having people talk about me in rooms that I have not been in. I know without a shadow of a doubt that I am walking in the passion and walking in where I am supposed to be. So that glow is going to come. It's going to be natural.
Yeah.
Because I'm not worried about any of the other stuff because I'm intentional. Yes. That goes back to what I do in the morning. I am intentional about my day.
Yeah.
I'm intentional about who I am and where I'm going. And because of that, I know that there are plans. I can plan accordingly. That takes out the anxiousness of it. That takes out the ability for me to go into, oh my gosh, I'm frantic about it because I didn't plan. I have contingency plans.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you're intentional about it, you can glow.
You're right.
You can glow.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Oh, mine. What an amazing conversation this is.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts before I wrap up the episode? I got to jump to another interview.
Yes. You know, one thing that I would like to leave with is just making sure that people understand that protecting their peace is paramount.
Oh, yeah.
Creating healthy boundaries for your success has to be priority. It has to be priority. If you don't know how, please contact me. We can put you on the journey of creating healthy boundaries and creating a path and creating your journey to being the best you can be.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, LaTisha, for being on the podcast. It was an honor to speak with you, and I've learned so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This was amazing. I love having these kind of conversations.
Me too. Lastly, where can listeners find you and support your work?
Yes, so I am Minds Under Construction LLC on all platforms for social media. I am working on my website now. It is being built, but it will be mindsunderconstructionllc.com. I have journals, affirmation journals, grief journals that are on Amazon that you can purchase to help you through your journey. I am working on more as I find the time to do so, to just help you through your journey. I do have one coming for boundaries, to creating those boundaries and journaling about that process. So those are the ways that they can contact me. Again, my email is mindsunderconstructionllc@gmail.com. And then you can find me on all social media platforms for Minds Under Construction LLC.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You are very welcome. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.